Yeah, so first, before we kick off to the next topic, so let's try to understand about an overview of Camunda, okay, what this product is all about. So that once we get going with the topic side, at least we'll be having the understanding of this product, what this product is all about. So Camunda is basically launched in 2013. However, it has been founded in year 2008. Right? So after a few years of some consulting projects, the owners of Camunda have decided to launch it in 2013 in Germany location where they have a headquarters in Berlin. Right? Currently, they have employees more than 300 who are working across the Europe. Okay, that's from their product. However, as we know, Camunda comes as an open source, which is community version, right, as well as enterprise version. So overall, there are more than 100K plus community members out there. Okay, and their offices are across the globe. So it is like into Asia, America, and Europe. Predominantly, they have the offices. Likewise, I told Camunda BPM is also a licensed version, which is a paid version, which will be acquired by the companies for their workflow. So when they take any enterprise version, they will get the additional features and the service support as well. So currently, they have more than 500 enterprise customers across the globe and in 190 plus countries with people using Camunda. So the purpose of this slide is to have a brief understanding of the footprints of Camunda across the different companies and countries, right, where it has been established, and it's growing a lot along with each and every year. So to have a overview about Camunda. So Camunda is one of the most popular BPM tool, which is being used by the different organizations in order to automate and orchestrate the business processes. So, do you know what is automate and what is orchestration? Normally, whenever we are using any BPM or low code platform, right, either we are doing the BPA work or we are doing the also using the orchestration. So BPA is something we are automating the mundane task, right? If there are some repetitive tasks are there, okay, or there are human interactions are there, we try to automate them, okay, by using the BPA. As well as nowadays in terms of the microservice orchestration, right? Uh, Camunda BPM acts as a universal orchestrator, which helps in coordination of the workflow end to end by coordinating between different microservices. So we'll go into the detail how we can automate and orchestrate, but that is where it is most widely used across the industries. And Camunda is a lightweight business process engine which is written in Java. So what does it mean is lightweight process engine is like we can embed the dependencies of Camunda in any other Java application or Spring Boot microservice. And the core engines have been developed using Java programming language. So if someone is familiar with the Java, right, it will be always an added advantage for them. However, to design the workflows by using BPM or CMMN or DMN, right, we do not require much Java programming language. And Camunda BPM is coming from an open source community. What does mean by the open source community? Which means it is free to use, okay, and apart from open source community, it is also available as part of the enterprise version, which has some pricing included based upon the plan it has been taken by an organization. Now when we talk about BPM or Camunda BPM specifically, right, this is one of the very powerful tool where it provides all three standards and notations, right, provided by the object management group. So, what is object management group, right? Why it has been established? What is the purpose of it? We'll discuss in detail, in depth. But to have a, summary about object management group, it's a group of companies, right, who manages the standards and notations of BPMN, CMMN, and DMN. These are the three different standards and notations which are being provided by object management group. And Camunda is one of the BPM tool or one of the automation tool which supports all three standards and notations, okay, up to Camunda 7. However, the latest version of Camunda 8, right, which has been released in April 2022, which is 1 year ago, from Camunda 8, the support of case management, which is CMMN, has been discarded after introduction of ZB engine. So when we get going through the details, right, then we will understand what is the architecture of Camunda 7, what is the architecture of Camunda 8, what are the key differentiations between these two versions, what are the like you can say key requirements to launch the Camunda platform 8. All these things will go into the detail. However, to have an understanding, right, you can say that Camunda provides the support for all three notations. So, what is BPMN, what is DMN, and what is CMMN? We'll go into the depth by understanding all the core elements which has been used in order to design and develop the workflow. The purpose here of having this overview that we should understand it has a support for all the notations. Now it provides the workflow and BPM platform for developers, system admins, and business users. What does it mean? So when we have a, Camunda BPM, right, has been installed and established, it provides a platform for developers, which means they have inbuilt UI by using which we can design and develop the workflow using these standards and notations. Right? So developers will go and create the workflows by using the low code notations. So there are drag and drop elements are there in the palette, which by using which, right, we can create the workflow. Also, there is a portal for system admins, which is inbuilt UI. We can call it as cockpit in Camunda 7 and operate in Camunda 8. Right? These screens are inbuilt, which is helpful for doing the administrative work. Likewise, we know whenever we have any BPM installment in order to do the troubleshooting and monitoring as well as to see the details of any particular process, right? Where it has been, what are the tasks associated, who has completed this task, right? When it has been completed, all the history related details. We can see each and every instance which is active or completed by using the admin screens. We don't have to do any coding for that. These screens are by default part of the you can say your installed Camunda BPM. Now, Camunda BPM, when it has been launched, right, in year 2013, it is being formed from Activity BPM, which is the registered trademark of Alfresco. What does it mean, right? So, even when it has been launched in 2013, almost a decade ago, you can see the source code which has been there, right? It has been already been forked or taken from another BPM, where you can say from the open source community, right? It has been already available. So this tool, right, it has been there even more than a decade into the being used by the different you can say companies and organizations. It has been licensed with the Apache 2.0 established in year 2013, and the first version of Camunda 7 is based on the fork of Activity BPM 5.21 in year 2013. Okay. So Activity is also a BPM tool which has been trademarked from the Alcasco, and from there the source code has been forked. After the launch of 2013, there are many and multiple releases are been there in terms of the minor and patches. Usually, two minor releases will be launched in an year, summer and winters. Apart from that, there are multiple patches are being released. However, after almost 9 years, the first major release has been launched, which is known as Camunda 8 or Universal Orchestrator. It has been known as. It has been launched in April 2022. So, as I told, right, when we go into the details, we will understand the key differentiations between Camunda 7 and Camunda 8, the support for them, and why there was a requirement for launching the Camunda 8. So all these things will go into the detail, but you can think about after 9 years almost, there is a major release has been launched, and there is a support from the company, from the product for both the versions, Camunda 7 and Camunda 8. Camunda 8 definitely is going to be there for a longer period of time. However, Camunda has already declared that the organizations who are using or working into Camunda 7 don't have to worry much about the support. At least for next 5 years, there will be a support for them, and after that, they will review the strategy. So the current latest version of Camunda 8 is 8.2, and similarly for the Camunda 7, it is 7.18. The major details, right, and releases we can see from this particular link, which I will share later. So now, when we are going to learn specifically about the Camunda, right, we will be learning the key concepts of OMG standards, which is BPMN, CMMN, and DMN. It provides the latest standards and support for the latest standards and notations which is available. So BPMN have a latest standard and notation which is known as 2.0. DMN is used for writing the business rules. They have a support with the latest notations of 1.3. And in Camunda 7, we have a support with the case management as well with the latest standard and notation of 1.1. So we will learn all these three things. And apart from that, it will be an added advantage if we have a familiarity with any programming language, specifically Java or REST API. And then we will be also learning what are the core components come along with the product, whether it's a modular. Okay. So likewise, if we go and see, right, this is how a Camunda like console will look like in the Camunda 8. It's a trial version where you can see these are the core components of Camunda. Okay. There is a modeler which has been used by the developers in order to design or develop your workflow. Then there is a task list which has been intended for the and business users, where they can see the open task which is available for them to work upon, right? Like if we are doing creating any invoice related workflow is there, right? So when invoices are pending to be, you can say processed by the end users, so that you can think about it as an end business user. They will log into a platform, okay, and they can see the pending invoices based upon their role and access. Okay. So again, that uh, you can say UI component is inbuilt by the product. Okay, they don't have to you don't have to design from the scratch. However, Camunda also provides the support of open APIs by using which you can also create your customized UI or dashboard as well if required. Then there is an operate component is there. So operate is something which has been used by the administrative users in order to, you can say, troubleshoot or monitor your deployed processes in data. And then this fourth component is optimize. So optimize is basically being used by the management users. It has been intended for the management, where or maybe some technical users as well, in order to get the reports and dashboards with the pre-configured parameters as well to see the health status and other, you can say, the key metrics of your deployed processes. So all these components, right, we will discuss in depth and in detail. Now, as I told, right, Camunda has been launched in 2013, right? However, it has been there into uh, what you can say into the market. The code is even been available prior to 2013. So the journey is like this product, right? You guys might have already been heard about the JBPM tool, right, which is been having a support from the Red Hat, which has been launched in the year 2006. So from 2006 onwards, JBPM was there. After that, in 2010, few you can say key participants have created another company which is called as Activity in year 2010 with the support and trademark of Alfresco product. And in 2013, actually, few key workers of the company have created a company called Camunda, and the source code is been forked from Activity platform in 2013. And similar to Camunda BPM, from the same source code or similar source code of the open source community, in 2016, Flowable BPM has been forked. So we will basically going to concentrate on Camunda, okay, which has been launched in year 2013 officially. But the purpose of this slide is at least when you hear about these products, right, JBPM or Activity, Camunda or Flowable, right, they comes from a similar stack. Okay, they have definitely some differentiations, but the source code which has been there, right, it is same, and you can if you have worked upon on one of these tool, right, you will be able to switch or you will be able to learn other BPM tools quite easily. The purpose here is because they don't have much differentiation. So the power of when you learn about Camunda, right, you can easily learn Activity, Flowable, or JPPM as well. Now the ecosystem of Camunda, right, like when you designing or developing your workflows, the purpose here of using Camunda, right, by the different organization is the ease and availability of your code. Okay? Like if you want to integrate it with any other programming language, you can do it easily by using any of the tool of your preferred choice. Maybe you can use IntelliJ or Eclipse or some other tool, and you can use any programming language as well. You can go for Python or Java. In Camunda 8, there is a gRPC support is there by using which you can write your custom logic in any preferred language as well. So we'll discuss that in detail later. However, the purpose here is the ecosystem has been designed in such a way in Camunda 8 specifically that it is for the developer side. It has been you can do your coding and you can use any preferred tool based off your choice. Also, when you talk about in terms of the organizations, it provides such an ease in order to deploy your applications on your preferred platform. Like if you want to do it on premises, that is there. If you want to do it in a Dockerized manner, in a containerized manner, you can deploy it over a cloud or in a Docker. And if you in Camunda 8, if you want to have as a like you don't want to manage your environment, right? Then there is a support for SaaS system as well, which is service as a software, where organizations just have to take care of their development activity, but they can get rid of maintaining the infrastructure. Okay, so it's all cloud based. So in when we are going to use Camunda, we'll be also using the SaaS version, so where we'll be focusing on learning the concepts of Camunda. how we can use modular, task-based, optimize, and operate, right? And how we can integrate with the other systems like Kafka or any REST services that we will be focusing. But it provides an added advantage where using as a SaaS version, you can just get rid of maintaining the environment and infrastructure. Now, when you want to integrate, right, Camunda provides the integration with possibly all the endpoints, and that is why it has been also known as universal orchestration. You can integrate with human task, right? If you want to automate something which is been done by end users, you can do it. You can write your business rules. You can have an integration with the AIs. You can have an integration with the microservices. You can do the integration with the APIs and RPA. So you just think about it. They have connectors and integration platform available for doing the orchestration of your work. So with that, I'll take a pause. And if you guys have any questions until now, right, at least you will be familiar about Camunda BPM, what this product is all about, what we are going to learn. As we have already discussed few key topics yesterday, right? What is the TOC? And now we know what is Camunda BPM is. Okay, what are the core components it will be having, also what are the standards and notations it has been provided, right? Okay, so before we start, right, these are the takeaways we'll be having, right, in with our learning, which we discussed already yesterday. But now, in order to start learning about Camunda BPM, we can go with the architecture as well of what is the architecture, what are the core components. But I prefer before we get going into that, it's better to first understand the three uh, key standards and notations, right, which we discuss Camunda provides in support. And the most common and widely used standard and notation is BPMN, which is Business Process Modeling and Notation. So I believe each and everyone who has joined this meeting is at least aware about this terminology. And when we talk about any low code, right, we will usually call it like it's a BPM tool. Like we call it as a Pega. Pega is a BPM tool, or Camunda, it's a BPM tool. So why we usually call it is whenever we are developing any work, right, the most common standard and notation which we use is BPM.